Hi, my name's Sage, and I'm the Youth Program Coordinator here at Community Services Unlimited, and welcome to our latest update of our Garden Gateway virtual online workshop. Fire season has been especially intense this year, and with all the smoke in the air, we at CSU have been thinking about ways we can keep our lungs healthy. And so today, we're going to be talking about fire season herbs. When used in respiratory steams, teas, and water preparations, these herbs help coat our airways, support immunity, buffer for particulate matter, and fortify lungs and sinuses. Today we're going to talk about 3 different ways to prepare 4 different herbs: licorice, sage, rosemary, and mullein. Let's get started. First off, we're going to talk about making water preparations. Water preparations moisten the mucosal lining, support deep immunity, and coat the airways. Different herbs you can use for water preparations are mullein, elderberry, hibiscus, marshmallow, and plantain. And today we're going to be focusing on mullein. As you can see, I picked this mullein about 2 weeks ago, so it's pretty dried out, but it's still going to work great. So let's get started. Mullein is considered beneficial for the lungs because it helps the body remove excess mucus and it soothes the mucous membranes. Dried mullein leaves, flowers, and roots all have beneficial effects for the respiratory system. When prepared, they can help with common ailments like coughs, chest constrictions, lung weakness, and chest colds. One note of warning when dealing with mullein is that they have kind of like a coat of fuzz around the leaves, and so if you have more delicate skin, it can be irritating and a little itchy. So if you want to wear some gloves when handling mullein to avoid that itchiness, it's a great idea. To make our water preparation, we're just going to steep about 1/2 ounce of dried mullein in about 1.5 cups of water, and you can choose to leave this either 4 to 8 hours or overnight. Since it's been hot lately, I like to leave mine overnight in the refrigerator, which makes for a real refreshing drink that also is boosting my lung health. It's also a great tip because cold water helps extract the mucilage. So we have this really nice tea strainer that we got from the VMP, but if you want, you can also just toss in the pieces of dried mullein and strain it out later. So I'm just gonna go ahead, break up some of this mullein and put it right into the tea strainer. You want to fill it right on up, and then we're going to close it up. Next, we're going to take the water and just pour it in. We said about 1.5 cups, and you take your mullein and you plop it right on in there. And so I'm gonna plop this in the refrigerator, and it's gonna sit there overnight to make sure that a lot of the medicinal properties of the mullein are extracted, and the cold water helps extract the mucilage. So it's gonna be a refreshing drink that packs a real healthy punch. So I'm gonna go plop this in the refrigerator and drink it tomorrow. Super easy and great way to support lung health. Now we're going to make a respiratory steam. Respiratory steams help fortify the sinuses and act as a buffer for particulate matter. You can use a lot of different herbs for respiratory steams: rosemary, sage leaf, chamomile, eucalyptus, peppermint, yarrow. The list goes on and on. Today we're going to be using some white sage and rosemary. Sage and rosemary are a great mix for a respiratory steam because they both contain rosmarinic acid, which can reduce inflammation in the lungs. And sage is a common treatment for sore throat and coughs because it's an expectorant, which helps expel mucus from the respiratory tract. To prepare, it's super easy. You just boil a pot of water over the stove. I like to do about 8 cups of water. And then you throw in Once it's boiling, you throw in the sage leaves and rosemary, and you can either let it steam without a cover throughout the whole house, or you can keep it covered and then get some sort of towel and put it over your head and create a tent over the pot, and from there inhale for about 5 to 20 minutes. And it'll be super intense and it's a great smell, but it will be really hot, but it'll really help clear out your airways. The last preparation we're gonna make is tea. Last winter I had a really nasty cough and Neelam recommended that I drink some licorice tea, and it almost automatically soothed my throat and eased the coughing. And so I had never heard of it before, but it actually has a lot of medicinal properties in terms of throat health and easing cough and lung issues. So our last preparation for the day is just going to be some licorice tea. Here at the VMP we have licorice root, which people can use in teas or they can grind it down. You can also just get some licorice powder. I use the powder and it's super simple to make. You can either make a really big batch in like a pot on the stove, or you can heat up like a personal cup of tea. And I just take about less than 1/4 of a teaspoon, just scoop it up. As you can see, it's a powder. I just scoop it up and put it right in. And you want to give it a really good mixing to make sure that it dissolves thoroughly. And licorice is actually naturally really sweet, so you can add honey if you like, and honey does also help with easing coughing, but I like mine just like this. Super tasty. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of our Garden Gateway virtual workshop. We'll be back next month with even more content. If you have any questions, feel free to email us. Our email is csu@csuinc.org. You can also follow us on Instagram and check out our website for even more updates. Stay safe out there. See you next time.